Okay, I don't know what I was thinking when I made that little hall sensor holder. Made it out of aluminum. Um, I tried to use it and I had destroyed two Hall effect sensors messing around with it. And then I gave up and rethought it. And I don't know what I was thinking, but why not make it out of plastic so it's non-conductive? And I don't know. I just wasn't thinking. So anyway, I went ahead and move over here. And here's the old one. You know, and I made it out of aluminum. And I don't know, like I say, I don't know what the heck I was thinking. You know, you want it so that it doesn't conduct electricity. So I went ahead and made it out of aluminum. What was happening was, by the time I put the Hall effect sensor in here and heat shrink around 6 little pieces, it stuck so high. Then I tried to squish it down, and anyway I broke the wires on 2 of them before I finally gave up. Here's one of them. Here's one of them right here. Ain't much good anymore. So anyway, I went ahead and cut another one out of plastic. I just got done cutting a slot in it. And so now I'm going to take the screws out of it and take it off of there. And we'll see if we can get the Hall sensor mounted in this one. I had 2 of them that I tried to make in plastic and I messed it up and cut them too shallow, and so junk. But that's okay, it's just plastic. Or actually, it's nylon. I'm hoping that this nylon is non-conductive. Well, it's non-conductive, but high voltages, I don't know. But there shouldn't be any high voltages coming back to this. Just 5 or 6 volts. But anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, as they say. So I'll pull this off, and then I can push it out. I gotta deburr it yet a little bit, but there it is. Let's get a couple sensors. Get a couple sensors out of the bag here. Well, for crying out loud. My fingers don't want to work. I just want a couple of them out of there. I can't remember, I wish I'd have wrote it down, and I looked in my history and I couldn't find it, but I think I ordered like a dozen of them for $4 or $5. So anyway, that's beside the point. So, and another thing, I was trying to put them in back to back. What I'm going to do is put them in, you know, face to face, because then it has a shorter distance to the bottom one for the magnet to affect it. So, trying to think ahead this time. So what I'm planning on doing is putting them both in, probably misalign them like that, so that one's one way and one's the other way. And I have some leftover rubber that I made rubber spark plug boots with. And what I'm thinking about doing is building a little dam around this and then just filling that cavity up with that stuff. I don't know if it's any good anymore. I'm going to mix up some. I kept it in the fridge, but I'm going to mix up a small batch and see if it sets up the way it's supposed to, and if it does, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make basically a rubber boot around them, and I was thinking about building a little dam around this and making the boot come all the way out to here somewhere, you know, out beyond so it's out there. And like I say, I have one way and one the other way, you know, just the slop taken out one way, that way, that way. It's just a little bit easier to solder the wires and fit everything in. It's tight. It's very tight to do this, but it should work. I could almost make a plug, an electrical plug for that. I have, what are they called? FTU. Anyway, they're the real small connectors, and I have the pieces. I could probably put two of them back to back. I'll have to look into that, because that way I could unplug it and plug it in instead of soldering them. I'll have to think about it. But anyway, that's where I'm at with this whole project. Messing around with that sensor holder, and I got the boards made. I have a double board made for 2 circuits. Yeah, the only thing that's holding me up is this here. Once I get this done, I'll have to go back here and pull this off, provided I succeed at that. And then I'll have to put a grommet in there for the wire to go through down here somewhere, probably down at the bottom or close to the bottom. And I should almost put a spring in there to pull the slop of the wire, so that it's always got a little bit of tension on the wire, so that it doesn't. I could do that. What I could do is have the wire come up like that, and have a spring, drill another hole off to the side here where a spring could come in and put a little spring tension on it. You know, that way when I'm moving it around, it's pulling all the slack away from the gear. So I'll have to think about that too. But and I did take my little one inch sensor apart, or tool height setter apart, and I did post a video on that, and I do have drawings and PDFs for anybody that's interested. Just let me know. So like I say, I really liked it. I mean, since I made this, and it didn't work on the plastic obviously, but anything metal, it works fine. So, but anyway, I'm gonna go mix up a batch of black goop, and we'll see if we can't get. That takes about I'd say a good almost a whole day to set up. So I'm gonna mix up some, and probably, well, you know what I could do? Just practice by putting some in the one that I'm not going to be using, the aluminum one. I'm not going to put I won't put no sensors in it. I'll just fill that cavity once and see how long it takes, and if it does set up and everything. So that was just a short little update of where I'm at. So when I make a little more headway, I'll get back and make some more videos. But for right now, I'm at a little bit of a standstill here, working on this. So until next time, catch you later. Okay, I decided to mix this stuff up and just kind of show you what I'm mixing up and how I do it. I got my I had a temperature probe on one of the chips on my board, just to keep an eye on the temperature. I'll get this out of the way. Alright, so here's the two solutions right here, and I think it was equal parts is what you need to put in. Yep, equal volumes. So what I do is I have a syringe here, an old syringe. I took the needle and out and cut the end of it off. Here's this part B. Well, A or B, yeah, it's part B. This is actually the stuff that has the colorant in it, the dye. Oh, can't get the bottle open. There we go. I put them in the fridge after I got done messing with them, so I can get it to run down here. It sucks them up in the syringe. All right, we don't need that much. I sucked some up in the syringe here, but I just want to use just enough to fill that. So I squeeze it all back out. Let's get the air pocket out of it. So we'll tip it upside down, get the air out of it, so we can get an accurate measurement. All right. So, I don't know if you can see the numbers on there, but I'm going to put, that's 1. Let's go naturally, the phone. About 3/4. I got to get the phone. Okay, I'm back. That's about 3/4 of a, what is it? Milliliter or mil, and I got a little drop end off of material, and I'm just going to squeeze that into that. Ooh, that's going to be, I'm going to need something bigger than that to mix it in. Ah, darn it. Let's see if I can suck it back out of there. All right, I gotta set this here. I gotta find something, you know, I'll just use the end cap, the syringe end cap here. Just a little plastic cap, I can put it in that. Okay, you don't want to take and dip this one in the other one now. So, you know, wipe it off, set that aside, close up the bottle, and then we'll go to part A. Tighten it up. I kept it in the fridge, so I don't know. A lot of times if you keep this kind of stuff in the fridge, you can get by and use it again. Alright, let's see if we can get some of this out of there. Why I got tape around this one? To signify something, but I'm not sure what anymore. I gotta get the tape off of it so I can get it in the bottle. This is a little bit bigger syringe than the other one. There we go. There. Oh, it reaches all the way down to the level, so we can pull some in. And we want about 3/4 of a milliliter. About there, I would guess. And we'll put that in there. Okay. Wipe that off. And now we just mix it together. Lid on this before I spill it. And I just used an X-Acto knife. And just stir it up. Make sure it's all good and mixed up. like I say, I don't know if this stuff will work or not, or if it'll set up. If not, I might have to order some more or use the two-part epoxy that I went and got. I just thought this rubber would be nice if I had to change the sensor. I can cut the rubber right out. That epoxy stuff, you don't cut that very easy. I tried when I cleaned up that aluminum. Before I had the epiphany of, why am I making it out of aluminum? Make it out of something that won't conduct. So, all right. Now we can dribble it in there, or we can use another syringe. I'm just going to dribble it in. Try to dribble it into the. I got it set up here on my little helping hands. I put some tape around it, got it clamped, and we'll just try to dribble that in there. Just like that. And I'm just going to leave that set now. It's probably going to ooze out some because I overfilled it a little bit. Tip it up a little bit more. Tip it up this way. Seems to be behaving there. So let's see, where else? What else can I pour some on just to check? Being I got a little container yet. I wanted to pour it into something that I could, just to check to see if it's going to set up. Well, I don't really have anything around. I could just leave it in this, I guess. Be nice if I could have it in something that I could knock it out of or pull it out of. You know what? I'm just going to put it back into this, what I started to use for mixing. I'm going to put it in that. And we'll see how it sets up. So we could sit here and watch it. No, it'll be tomorrow or late this afternoon before that sets up. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you. And the stuff, I got it off the internet. It's from Moldcraft, and the first batch they sent me wouldn't set up at all, so it was junk. And then they were good enough to send me a second batch. And that second batch, I made all my spark plug boots with it, and worked fine. Worked like a champ. And like I say, I stuck it in the fridge after I was done, because I didn't really need them. As I used such a little amount that you hardly can tell that I used any out of the bottle, because the bottle when it came is probably about at that level right there, so I used about that much out of both bottles. Not much. Anyway, I think they send it that way so you could probably put the two bottles together and mix it up. I don't know. But anyway, like I say, it was a good company to deal with. They honored it right away. I just told them, yeah, I'd have to set for a couple days, or I let it set for a couple days trying to get it to set up, and it just would not set up. It just stayed like goo. So they shipped me another one right away, and they were quick at getting the second one here too. So like I say, they were good people to deal with. So if anybody's looking for rubber boot material, it worked good. So anyway, all that said, catch you later.